The story of Ruth. Chapter 1. Ruth's loyalty to Naomi. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, and his wife's name was Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephraites from Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to Moab and lived there. But Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other named Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. When Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food, she and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home. She urged them, "Go back to your own families. May the Lord show you kindness as she has showed kindness to her dead husbands and to me." Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." But Ruth replied, "Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die. There I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined, she stopped urging her, so the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. So Naomi loses her husbands and sons, leaving her with no security. Ruth makes a bold declaration of loyalty to Naomi and her God. So this chapter teaches us faithfulness and trust even when we're not sure. Chapter 2. Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man standing named Boaz. Ruth said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone whose eyes I can find favor." Naomi said, "Go ahead, my daughter." So Ruth went out and gleaned in the fields behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was a relative of Elimelech. Boaz arrived and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you," they answered. "The Lord bless you." Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field. Stay here with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting and follow along with the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. Whenever you grow thirsty, go and drink from the water jars." Ruth bowed down and asked, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes?" Boaz replied, "I have been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you left your father and mother and your land to live with people you did not know. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May the Lord richly bless you by the Lord, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." So Ruth humbly works to provide for Naomi. Boaz notices her kindness and blesses her for faithfulness. Chapter 3. One day Naomi said to Ruth, "My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for. Boaz is a guardian redeemer of our family. Tonight he will be laying barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and go down to the threshing floor. When he lies down, note where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." Ruth answered, "I will do whatever you say." So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he went to lie down. Ruth approached quietly and covered his feet and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled Boaz. He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. He asked, "Who are you?" "I am your servant Ruth," she said. "Spread cord of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." Boaz replied, "The Lord bless you. You have not run after the younger men. Now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do you all you ask. But there is another guardian redeemer closer than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to redeem you, let him. But if he is unwilling, and as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it." So Ruth boldly steps out in faith, asking Boaz to redeem her family. Boaz reassures her and promises to settle the matter. Sometimes faith requires bold action, trusting God's plan. Are we willing to trust God's plan even when the outcome is uncertain? Chapter 4. Boaz went to the town gate and said to the guardian redeemer, "Naomi is selling the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. Will you redeem it?" The man replied, "I will redeem it." But Boaz added, "On the day you buy the land, you must also marry Ruth, the widow." At this the man said, "Then I cannot redeem it." So Boaz took off his sandal, a sign of making it official, and said, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech, Mahlon, and Chilion, and I have also taken Ruth as my wife." So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. The Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The woman said to Naomi, "Praise be the Lord who has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous in Israel." They named him Obed, the father of Jesse, the father of David. So Ruth's faithfulness led to redemption and restoration. She becomes a part of the lineage of Jesus Christ. What seemed hopeless was part of God's perfect plan. Even in hardship, God is writing a greater story than we can see.